Hello.
Hello.
All right, should we get started?
Absolutely.
Let's. Okay, item number 1, significant updates since the last meeting. Big news from today is that the second dry run on staging was completed. And so for next Monday, the test run with the rollback is still scheduled. And then Fabian, do you want to get the next item?
Sure. So there is an ongoing discussion regarding the rollout, the rollback strategy during the downtime window. And as far as I can see, there are essentially 2 ways of doing it. One is to have a second CI cluster that takes no traffic, and we can repoint our traffic to that second CI cluster in case something goes wrong. The other option is to repoint the traffic to the read replicas on the main cluster, which wouldn't require spinning up another CI cluster, and that has not yet been decided. I scheduled a sync meeting tomorrow with Jose and the team to drive that decision. If the team, essentially can't come to a conclusion on what to do, I think what we need to do is write it up, say these are the upsides and downsides, and then actually make a call, because I think that's I can't make that decision because I don't understand the trade-offs and the technical decisions. Terry, you had a point.
Yeah, does that mean that the read traffic that is currently going to the read-only CI cluster would go back to the main cluster?
Yes, temporarily it would go to the main cluster until the CI cluster has fully re-replicated. So there is a window of roughly 24 hours in which the traffic would go back to the main cluster. There was an initial analysis performed by the SREs, Rafael and Gonzalo, regarding the load that is currently on the CI cluster. And that indicates, if I understood them correctly, I can only repeat that, right? That the additional load temporarily would be okay for the main cluster. I think this is the concern that Jose raised. I think is twofold. The one, I think, has to do with, can main take the load? I think that is something we can prove or show. The other concern, I'm not sure I fully understand on the technical level, is that there were other issues to do with subtransactions and read replicas that we may, like corner cases essentially, that we may expose ourselves to. So I'm not quite sure what those are. I think that the preference or the suggestion for not using an additional CI cluster is that it requires fewer new boxes to spin up, and it's a very simple change, and it is temporarily, but there may be some risk. That's, I think, the state of discussion.
Okay. Yeah, we'd have to spin up that cluster anyway, right? For, let's say it fails your rollback, and we're going to have to spin it up anyway to do the second attempt. So anyway, feel free to invite me to that meeting. I'm curious to see how people are thinking about this. But yeah. I would do the additional cluster. Just seems safer and work that you would have to do anyway for future attempts. So,
I'm not sure you would have to do it anyways. I think the idea is, let's say, I mean, this is all in, something goes catastrophically wrong territory, right? So the CI cluster promotion fails. And I think at that point, and this is something I just don't know, I think the idea is to recreate that from scratch with the existing configuration, rather than having another set of configurations files for like CI standbys or whatnot. I invited you to the meeting. We can talk it through.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think both like, I think important is that we make a decision, because that's going to impact the timeline, and I can't make that decision myself. Cool. Yeah, you're invited. Thanks for offering help, Jerry. Much appreciated. This second one is, that's just an FYI if people haven't followed this closely. There was a discussion last week on if we wanted to change the replication strategy between clusters, which right now is not using replication slots. And then there was a discussion on, do we want to or not? And we've decided to just stay and use the same replication strategy that we have. So that's maybe important to know. There's nothing to see. Yes, I agree with you, Jerry. Anything else, Nick? 2?
Doesn't look like we
1A.
have 2. Going to 3A, added updates to the charts, still pretty similar last couple of weeks, mostly issues related to the phase 7 rollout, still open. And then it's like 3B, Fabian, you have something there?
Oh yeah, like I'm not sure how to phrase it. It's like a positive existentialist crisis or something. It's just I made one summary plot for what decomposition looks like, and it essentially just doubles something, and you can show something that took more than 600 merge requests to actually become a reality, and put it in like one plot, be like, we're just doing this. And so it's pretty astounding, and I think great work by the team. It's sort of 50 merge requests per month. Also other folks collaborated and whatnot, but it's like the danger of abstraction, right? It's like once you start drawing boxes, everything looks simple, but I think it's pretty fun. That's that. I think. Is mine the next one, Nick?
I think it is. Yeah, we don't have anything for items 4 and 5. Yeah, I think we can probably just get rid of this item 5 from the template. I don't think that's relevant anymore.
Cool. I'll take number 5 then. So I opened up the change request today for decomposition. The target date is the 25th of June, which means we have to announce that we're going to take downtime this week. Depending on our rollback discussion tomorrow, that may push the timeline a little bit. So this is slightly tentative, but we'll see. In general, what this entails, as far as I understand the process is, I'm going to inform the technical account managers for marquee accounts. Then I'm also going to schedule 2 AMAs, one that is APAC friendly and one for the US and EMEA. Then I'm going to communicate those in what's happening at GitLab, and I'm going to highlight that this is going to actually happen and ask people to raise any concerns in the AMAs. And then also we have to announce publicly that we are going to take downtime. And right now, I think based on the staging dry runs, the suggestion is to take 2 hours. That's, I think, including buffer time. Maybe we can get it down, but I think that's the current suggestion. Yeah, I've not done this before. There's a process. I haven't seen anyone doing it before. So if there's prior art that I can be pointed to, and I'd be happy. Nick is also involved. So thank you. Jerry, does this change request also include all of the communications publicly?
Yeah, so because of the nature of the change, we created a change issue, which is what I posted. And that actually points to an issue in the DB migration project in the ops instance, which you may or may not have access to. I'm going to post a URL for that issue. If you can't see it, I'll find a way for you to see it. And in there is where we outline explicitly what everybody was doing when they were doing it. So, and that goes like 30 days from D-Day. So yes, the announcement and everything is in there. So do you have access to the
Want
ops
to check?
instance?
I'm clicking on the link. I think I may. Yes, I have access.
Okay, so I found the issue that I was looking for. So in that ops issue, it says who does, who has the different roles and what they need to do. I thought it went 30 days in the past, but it actually goes a few days before the change for whatever technical work needed to be done in there. So we can just extend that into the T- as long as we need to. I think we can just clone this issue and edit the issue as opposed to.
The team is working on a template for all of that, the changes that need to be made based on the CI dry runs. That includes mainly the technical work. I was mostly interested in the comms that people have been doing.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a comms handler role, and you can see exactly what that individual had to do well.
Cool. I'll check it out.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. I think, Chun, do you want to verbalize your comment? Oh, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. No, I think a PG12 upgrade is a better example of fitting our scenario. But I was thinking about, something similar, scale changes like the CI minutes or the pricing changes. They were both announced company-wide.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, thanks. Yeah, looks like we're at the end of the agenda. Just want to note next Monday's meeting is a US public holiday, Memorial Day. So I think a good portion of people will be out, but yeah, that'll be important. So if those who will be around, we can leave the meeting as is, but just so everyone knows, yeah, attendance will be limited. All right, thanks everyone. Have a good day.